All right, you fish catching machines, let's get into it. So I use this Triling big game line, 25-pound or 15-pound, depending on what size fish I'm going after. Again, that'll be stronger or weaker depending on the fish you are targeting. So my main line is going to run down to a sinker. Right here I have an egg sinker. Again, your no rolls, your coin, and your sinker sliders, all those will work. Right here I have a bell sinker. That'll work too. Again, your size is going to be dependent on what type of current you're fishing. Here I have a pyramid weight. That's good. I use this in sandy bottom conditions. Throw it out. It'll get stuck a little bit better than your rounded weights. But you got to watch out for things like rocks with those because they will get stuck and you'll lose a lot of money real fast. So moving right along, got your egg weight here. I like to put a bead right on after that sinker, whatever sinker you choose. And I'll show you this here in a minute. But that bead is going to actually protect your knot that you're tying to your barrel swivel. Again, the strength of your swivel will be dependent on the size fish you are pursuing, whether it's going to be Nemo or Moby Dick. So again, we're going to get this tied up with another Palomar knot here. Put a little bit of saliva on that to make that slide and cinch down perfectly. Throughout this entire rig, I use Palomar knots. I'm not going to get into that debate. You use the knot that you want to tie and you feel most comfortable with tying. As you can see here, just showing you again how that bead can protect your knot when you're casting and throwing. So if you're using your electronics and you see the fish suspended at a certain depth in the water column, obviously you can adjust the length of this leader accordingly. So for your leader, a good starting point is 18 to 24 inches. And we're going to move on to the barber, as my fellow South Carolinians call it. They don't call it a bobber, they call it a barber. All right, so we got that on. Again, your starting length, 18 to 24 inches is a good guesstimate to get that bait up off the bottom. So now it's time to put that hook on. Most of the time I'll use a bait holder hook when I'm fishing with night crawlers or what have you. You can see the offset in this. This little red octopus hook here has a real nice offset on it as well. You can see it a little bit better than that previous hook. But again, it just depends on what type of game you're going after and what bait you're using. A little treble hook. The circle hooks help here, you know, when you're having a few cold ones. You can, kind of set back and let the fish set the hook on themselves. But again, I use a Palomar knot here. And once again, the size of the hook will depend on the size of the fish you are after. So one problem with this rig, some guys say that, you can see the bobber, the hook goes up into the bobber. Some guys say that affects your bait and its presentation. So I've known some guys to actually use a bobber stopper here. Can prevent that from happening. Just come up about, gauge it, 4 or 5 inches, put a bobber stopper on there, cinch that down, and that'll help you keep that bobber off your bait. Again, not necessary, but just another little tip or trick there to help you hopefully catch more fish. Okay, so there you have it, a nice little quick down and dirty on how to tie up the good old Santee Cooper Rig. An excellent way to catch a lot of catfish.
Oh, Polly, pretty Polly, would you take me unkind?